Hello everyone, this is Isha. At present pursuing third year at SNS College of Technology, Coimbatore. Today I am here to talk about elements of reinforcement learning. Before diving into elements of reinforcement learning, let's see what exactly is reinforcement learning first. After hearing the word reinforcement learning, the first word that comes to our mind is feedback type of learning. Yes, that's correct. Reinforcement learning is a feedback based machine learning technique in which an agent learns to behave in an environment by performing the action and seeing the result of the action. By looking in the image on the left hand side, it has a reinforcement learning, has an agent in it, has an environment in it. The agent performs an action in the environment, and for those action, the agent gets a reward. It might be a positive reward or it can be a negative reward. It depends on what type of action the agent is taking. If the agent takes a positive action, then it leads to positive reward. If the agent takes a negative action, then it leads to a negative reward. This is the main concept behind reinforcement learning. Now, let us understand some of the main terminologies used in reinforcement learning. The first one is agent. Agent is an entity that moves through the world, that is the environment, in which it performs an action to achieve its goal. Second one is environment. Environment is a situation in which an agent is present or surrounded by. Third, action. Actions are to the moves taken by the agent within the environment, so that agent can perform action based on the current environment. The fourth one is state. State is the situation written by the environment after each action taken by the agent. And the last one is reward. A reward is a feedback written to the agent from the environment to evaluate the action of the agent. Let us understand the terminology with an example. Here, consider the blue ball on the top left corner as an agent and the black box as an environment called maze. And the agent are supposed to take an action from one state to another, and here the action can be either left, right, top or bottom. And if an agent reaches the green box, then it gets the positive reward. If it reaches the red box, then it gets a negative reward. Or it can be another situation where an agent reaches neither positive or negative reward. It reaches a blank, a null point. It gets the null point. So by taking those actions from this state in this environment, it tends to change the state or action to gain more points in the future. This is an example where it gets the point or gains the action to learn from this environment to adjust in the future to get more points. This is the concept behind feedback based machine learning technique. Let us talk about the elements of reinforcement learning. There are four main elements in reinforcement learning. Those are policy, reward signal, value function, model of the environment. First, let us talk about policy. A policy defines the learning agent way of behaving at a given time. A policy is a mapping from perceived state of the environment to action to be taken when in those states. In other words, policy is an agent's strategy. For example, consider the diagram given below. Here, imagine a world, a robot moves across the room and the task is to get the target point. Here, a room is an environment. Robot is an agent. Robot's current position is a state. A policy is what an agent does to accomplish this task. Consider having three cases. First, an untrained robot just wander around randomly until they accidentally end up into the right place. This may be policy 1. Other may, for some reason, learn to go along the wall most of the route. This may be considered as policy 2. And we can also give policy 3 such that some smart robot planned the route in the head and goes straight to the goal. This may be considered as point 3. Obviously, some policies are better than other. The goal of the reinforcement learning is to learn the best policy. The policy defines the learning agent way of behaving at a given time. To conclude about policy, it is a strategy that an agent uses in pursuit of goals. The second element in reinforcement learning is a reward signal. After every action that agent takes, the environment sends a reward signal. The rewards depend on the action taken by an agent in the environment. An agent goal is to maximize those rewards. Suppose example, if an agent takes a good decision, it gains a positive reward. Say for example +1. If it takes a negative decision, it gains a negative reward. Example -1. In our previous example, the agent in the location, that is a robot in the location 1,1 with the corresponding to x and y axis, if it takes an action and goes straight till 1,3 and then turns right, reaches pier, it gains +5 as its reward point as its reward. And suppose the agent does not stop at 1,3, it moves till 1,4 and then decides to turn right and move till 4,4. It gains the reward of +10 when it reaches an apple. These are just one of the different possibilities I am saying to reach an apple or a pear. The agent can also use other location to reach to the reward, but some we also have the chance of agent does not always makes the right decision. Sometimes it will also makes the dumb decisions and get some negative points as the reward. If it ends up in the square box empty, neither an apple nor a pear. This is how the reward is calculated, and the reward signal impacts in the change of the action or state taken by an agent in future. The third element of reinforcement learning is value function. Reward is like at present, at the moment. If your action is good or bad, it gains the reward at that moment. But a value function specifies what is good in the long run. The value of the state is the total amount of reward an agent can expect to accumulate over the future starting from that state. Rewards are directly given by the environment, but value is an agent makes over its lifetime. Now, the last and final element of reinforcement learning is the model of the environment. Model mimics the behavior of the environment. With help of model, one can make inference about how the environment will behave. If suppose a state or an action are given, then the model can predict the next state and reward. The model is used for planning, which means the consideration of the sequence of action by considering all the future situation before actually experiencing those situations. That's all about the elements of reinforcement learning. Thank you. Hope you have a good day.